What's up, Gemini? How you guys doing? This is going to be your reading for the Scorpio new moon coming up this Saturday, November 18th. How have you guys been since the last time we talked? I've been pretty good. This Scorpio season has been really messing with a lot of people's lives. We got Jupiter in Scorpio, we have Venus in Scorpio, we have the Sun, and now we're going to have the Moon in Scorpio. If you guys are like me though, I feel like Gemini, we've been sidestepping a little bit of the worst of it, right? I definitely feel like the Scorpio energy has kind of been, shall we say, resonating with that Gemini savagery, right? Maybe you found yourself a little sharp tongued lately. I have. Maybe kind of telling people about themselves. I have. Um, but this new moon in Scorpio, I think it's going to be a great time for us. Scorpio is all about passion. It's about the depths. It's about mystery. It's about manifestation, right? And this new moon is bringing out the best qualities in Scorpio, right? We typically think about Scorpio as intense and kind of vicious, right? But with this new moon, we're getting those better qualities. We're getting the passion. We're getting like I said, the manifestation. And for Gemini, what we're dealing with now is going to be work. Not just work, in terms of a day job, but your passions, right? So with the Taurus full moon that happened a few weeks ago, Gemini needed to kind of take a break. We needed to nurture ourselves. We needed to relax. We needed to take some time off. I know I was working myself ragged and I needed some time, right? But now with this new moon in Scorpio, it's time to get in touch with the passions. It's time to go deep within ourselves. Find that creativity, find those things that drive us and start moving forward, right? Start moving forward in careers and manifesting dreams and our passions. Here we go. Beautiful. I love this. First card out, Prince of Cups. Central situation, everything I was just talking about, Gemini, about passion, about creating, about getting in touch with the things that excite you, the things that drive you. That's what the Prince of Cups is, right? He is I always describe him as kind of like the Rico Suave. He is that young, sexy, in touch with his emotions, in touch with passions. This is so perfect. This is exactly how I've been feeling. What I was just saying about how Gemini is dealing with the Scorpio energy. We're riding it out, right? It's affecting us, it's touching us, but we're navigating it. We're dealing with it. And now when we have this new moon coming up, this is our opportunity to get passionate, to get in touch with the things that drive us, that make us excited, that make us, give us a sense of purpose, right? Fuck the day job business, guys. This is about it doesn't even have to be a career if it's not. I know for me it will be. But if it's not for you, this could be a hobby. This could be, something that makes you feel good. Maybe you haven't been, practicing something that makes you happy. Maybe you haven't been, if you have a hobby, if you have a craft, maybe you haven't been practicing it. Maybe you've been all over the place, a little scattered, right? Get intense now, right? Get deep, get emotional, get a little emotional. We're a sensitive sign, Gemini. But when I say emotional, I don't just mean all over the place, heart scatteredness energy. I mean I mean deep. I mean what is that thing, Gemini, that makes you feel like that oomph? Ooh, look at that. This came up for Scorpio, right? Scorpio is also about power. That new moon is about getting in touch with our power, and look what we have. Look at the two cards we have so far, guys. The Prince of Cups, all in the power, all in the emotion, all in the passion. And this is the harnessing of that. Strength is taking hold of that and doing something with it, manifesting, right? When I say get up all up in it, this mountain lion here, this is kind of representing to me right now like that deep down energy that's kind of been lurking, right? Like that maybe has been set to the side, like I was saying earlier, and now we're taking hold of it, right? We're taking hold of our dreams. We're taking hold of our goals, of our passions, and we're like these two cards together is just like Gemini is taking hold and going with it. Again, how I felt about Scorpio season this whole time, like we are just taking that energy and working it, right? Do you see this with this strength card? Like, also, I'm gonna say, like, since we're talking about emotions, right, and we're talking about like psychicness and creativity with the cups and the intuition, like, I, for me personally, again, I'm gonna relate it to me. Like, I've gone through a big period of harnessing emotions this season, right? On really taking hold of the emotional state and directing it in a positive way, directing it in a way where it's like not getting you down. Like, right, you're riding these emotions, you're feeling them out, you're going through it, but they're not drowning you. You're taking hold of them, right? And if someone is upsetting you, like you're directing it at them, right? If you have these goals or dreams, like now it's time to direct that energy towards that. The energy is here for that. We also have Jupiter and Venus in Scorpio. Like just manifestation, abundance, dream. Fucking A. The Magician. As the words were coming out of my mouth, manifestation. Taking control of that energy, Gemini, and making it real. Right? So we start off here with the Prince of Cups, where you have all this abundant energy and this like chutzpah, this gusto, right? And then look, we have two majors already, Strength and the Magician. Like, what better sign do we have here, Gemini, for harnessing energy and doing something with it? You know, and like I was just saying, like it doesn't necessarily have to be always creative or like a project per se. Like if you've been up in your feels, like this could be you uh have strong feelings about somebody and now you're like making it real. You're maybe expressing them. Or strong feelings in a more negative way, right? Like somebody got to get told about themselves, right? But no matter what it is, I feel like it's emotional. I feel like it is, if it is career oriented, it's still a passion. That's what I want to get at. It's a passion. This is passionate energy. So anger, love, dreams, right? All of those things, guys, are coming into focus for Gemini for the next moon cycle until we end up with the new moon in Sagittarius in December, right? And then things can really take off. Then you can have fun again. Like, all I want is Sagittarius to come around so we can start having some fun again because this shit's been heavy, but look at us. Look at us, Gemini. We are making it happen, right? We're not getting overwhelmed like some of the other signs are. We're going deep, but it's not about like deep emotions. It's about like digging deep, unearthing like all those feels in the good way. Again, I don't want to say feels because it sounds like it's like emotion and like negative stuff, but like sadness, like heaviness, but this is like dreams coming true, yo. Like I feel like there's going to be big steps forward in love, steps forward in career goals within this next moon cycle from until the new moon in Sagittarius. Like I really feel like for Gemini, like big steps forward are happening. Like this Prince of Cups is just riding that swordfish forward. Look at the energy that's there. Look at the strength. Right? Ah, Two of Cups. Love. What did I say about love? About passion? Like, let's put aside the regular meaning right now, right? Like, about love and unions. Like, the Two of Cups is like a welling of emotions. It's feelings, it's intimacy, it's passion. Look at these guys. They're intertwined. The water is flowing from their heads into the cups, and the cups are overflowing. Passion, love. What did I just say about relationships? Expressing your love. Like, I'm getting giggly like a little giddy teenage girl with a crush. Um, because like for me personally, this is very exciting. Like last time I did our Gemini reading, I think it was the new moon in Libra. We got the Ace of Pentacles, and I felt like that was a new relationship, and it got me all flustered. And it's like, ooh, like I don't know if I want that, right? Do we want that serious relationship? Do we want that Ace of Pentacles, which is not a relationship card, but like if it was a relationship card, do we are we ready for that? Like, yeah, you are, Gemini. Like, love is coming, guys. If you have someone in your life already, like this is kind of showing like to me a next step forward. If you're dating somebody, you might be getting more committed or serious by the end of the year. If you're already in a relationship, like this to me is just like romance, like whining and dining, like a little getaway, like passion, like oh I was gonna say sex, yeah, like good sex too. You know what I mean? Like fuck yeah, Scorpio, you sexy beast, right? Like all of that energy that I'm talking about. We're embracing it. The passion, the Scorpio passion, the mystery, the sex, the manifestation. Gemini, like beautiful, like so super positive here. So again, like I was saying, like sure, this is dreams, this is like career goals, right? This is like manifesting those things, but what else? Are you ready? Like with Venus and Jupiter together, like are we ready for love? Like the real deal? Like this is the real deal. This is like what happens when you're in touch with yourself and your power, Gemini, and you're going deep and you're unearthing like what's been lurking there. Maybe it wasn't the right time before. Maybe now is the right time. You know what? Not maybe. I want to say it is. I think it's going to be. I like it. You know, because we're such like a flighty, lighthearted sign, but I think it's a good time for that. You know, like we're having Saturn moving into Capricorn at the end of December. For Gemini and the 2 year cycle that Saturn's in Capricorn, it's going to have a lot to do with, you're going to see relationships and like finances and stuff, right? But before we even get there, like this is a reason I'm bringing it up is feels like the preparation phase for that, right? Like getting in touch with you, getting like grounded in a weird way emotionally. Like this isn't necessarily a grounding card, but it feels grounding, right? Like Gemini, sometimes we depend on our partners to ground us a little bit, right? We know we're ungrounded, and sometimes we kind of do well in love, right? We're looking for that other twin. We have it in us, right? That's what makes us so great and so special is we have that other twin with us all the time. But we're also looking for that mate, you know, that partner that makes you feel complete. But of course, Five of Wands, nothing without struggle. Conflict. I want to do that with this right now. I want to reverse this motherfucker because you know what? Look at what's around it. Look at what's surrounding it. Sure, I'm not gonna be all fluffy and say that like, oh no, this is just like conflict overridden. But like, look, look what it's next to. I don't read reverse because I like to look at the other cards that are surrounding it and pick up the energy from there. Like when this card shows up, when the Five of Wands is a card of conflict and confrontation and struggle, comes up next to the Two of Cups after we've just had like the Magician and Strength, like I have a hard time seeing this in a negative light. Like don't get me wrong, we have to be prepared for struggle and conflict. I feel like other people might not be vibing with this like awesome fucking place that Gemini is gonna be in, right? Like feeling our oats real hard. People come for us, right? When we're happy, when we're like feeling ourselves. Oh, you're arrogant. Oh, you're full of yourself. Like, oh, blah 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 blah. You're not that great. Like, because when we're happy, we exude it, right? We exude like maybe you can call it arrogance, but it's like we're feeling good, right? So sure, there's gonna be people coming for you, but I also want to say like this cups energy is kind of feeling like it's taming this energy a little bit, taming, right? Like confusion and conflict that we've had surrounding our passions and our goals and our dreams. Like I feel like that shit is gonna mellow out, right? Like it's not gone. Like again, I'm not trying to be fluffed off here. Like I'm not saying that this doesn't have any bearing here, but when you're in this place, when you're in this Prince of Cups place where you're just focused and driven and you're in control and you're making shit happen, like what is this? When you're in love, like what the fuck is this matter? Like this conflict is like who cares? Like these people are inconsequential. When you're like in a relationship or you're in love and then like shit that you have to deal with is just so much easier, like you don't care as much because you kind of have that person who has your side. You have that happiness where it's like fuck y'all, if you're gonna come for me then like I'm good, I got everything I need. So be on the lookout for this. But then again, don't. Like that what I was saying about the Scorpio energy, like making us feel a little sharp tongued and having to tell people. Like if these people come for you, Gemini, especially in the next 2 weeks when we're still in Scorpio, next week and a half maybe while we're still in Scorpio season, like don't be a dick, but let them have it. Tell them off. Like assert yourself, right? Because like you have all these better things. You have all these better things, Gemini. Power, manifestation, and like self control and discipline and making things happen. Like, what a beautiful combination. Strength and the Magician, like making things happen. I love this. It feels romantic. It feels like soul fulfilling. It feels like emotional satisfaction. It feels like emotional fulfillment. We had this period where we maybe weren't feeling like ourselves, and then we started having fun again and started getting lighthearted, and then we kind of maybe went too far and needed to chill a little bit, and now it's like time to enjoy this newfound place we find ourselves in, right? It's time to rise above this nonsense. This nonsense that's been going on for way too long. And you know what's gonna happen, right? You know what happens, Gemini, every time we assert ourselves, right? Oh, you two-faced. You two-faced. No, I'm not two-faced. I'm just nice. And you push me. And then we have that other side that says no more, right? Like, embrace that Scorpio energy. Embrace that, like, water energy that just says, fuck you. I'm not putting up with this. Use that sharp tongue, Gemini. Protect this. Protect this. You know, like, one of the beautiful things about that darker side of us is that it can be very protective of the lighter side because it sees how beautiful it is. Like, it sees the potential. A first pathway, the Queen of Swords. I love this first. What was I just saying about protecting this? Like, ruthlessly. Like, not letting anyone fuck up your shit. Like, this is Gemini empowered, right? Like, this is us being passionate and getting in our feels and, like, being happy and, like, pursuing our dreams and goals, but, like, this is us enacting it. This is us, anybody in our way, like, these fucktards in our way, off with their head. Beautiful. Like, I want to see what the other path is, but, like, right now, I want this to be the energy that Gemini embodies for the next few weeks. Like, when it comes to your dreams, when it comes to your relationships, when it comes to, like, your goals, when it comes to just, like, you feeling good about yourself. Protecting it ruthlessly. Again, don't be a dick. Don't be mean. The Queen of Swords acts out of justice, right? Out of a sense of what's right or wrong. Like, the Queen of Swords doesn't just chop off anybody's head. She chops off the people's head who are trying to get in the way of this. Like, there's no reason for people to interfere with this. We're just doing our thing, right? If you're going to get in our way, you're going to get it. You're going to get it from us. Gemini is going to wreck you. Kind of already been happening. Just saying. Like, let me know, guys, if, like, you've just been, like, on some shit where you are, like, just telling people. I've been telling people. It's been so good. You know, like, again, the Queen of Swords energy, but, like, it's not just popping off. It's, like, speaking with eloquence, speaking with, like, a sense of morality and ethics and what's right and what's wrong. It's not just, like, taking people's heads off for no reason. It's like, I value this. Ace of Wands as our other path here. Okay. So, I'm trying to decide which one I like more here. Usually one stands out as, like, this is the way to go, right? But the Ace of Wands, this is like a burst of energy. This is like a burst of willpower. This is like creativity. This is ambition. Right? So I'm actually kind of liking this. It's so hard to say. It's so hard to say because when I look at the other cards here, you know what it is though about this? As much as I was talking about it, as much as this is maybe... Here's the thing with the new moon in Scorpio and why it might be different from what we've been going through. This is maybe a little bit more of what we've been going through, right? Using the head, using our intellect and our rationality to protect ourselves, right? But maybe Gemini, it's a little bit of a time to let the guard down and focus on the creativity and the passion, right? And focus on creating. Focus on what it is that you want to make manifest, right? Like the magician, like wielding the wand. The wand is a power, is a tool of creation, of manifesting, of directing the will, right? The magician uses the wand to direct his will. So what I'm gonna say, Gemini, is maybe get out of this like Queen of Swords savagery a little bit. You know, by comparison, she feels very dry when we're talking about when I look at all these other cards and there's all this passion and like energy and like good deep feelings. Like she was necessary, but maybe not let her step aside. You know, like when the new moon in Scorpio comes through, when that most positive fresh start energy comes through, channel it. You know, like still keep yourself safe, still keep yourself protected, but what I'm feeling is like if you do focus on this, if you do focus on this and like wielding this wand with power and you're like in touch with your passion and who you are deep down inside and you've done the work to delve deep and get in touch with all that, like this is going to speak for itself. You know, they say like was the best revenge is winning, is success. Success is the best revenge. Like that's what this is to me right now. This is like you don't need to keep fighting because like what you're going to be doing is going to prove itself. Right? Like this is going to be protecting this, right? Because you're building a foundation, you're building a career, you're building a new life, right? And that in and of itself is going to protect this love and this relationship. When you make it real, when you harness this strength, you could also look at this in like a more negative aspect, right? Like maybe this energy is a little blocked, right? If it was reversed, maybe we could say it's a little things aren't happening, and then maybe in that case you do have to still tap into this ruthlessness a little bit, this sharp tongue, like cut a bitch energy. But I think if this is going on, Gemini, if you're riding these waves, if you're going deep with this Prince of Cups, like I don't I feel like things are just gonna start happening. You're gonna start making it happen. Materially. Like in your job, in your finances, in uh your career advancement, in relationships, like you're gonna see material progress in all these things. Bottom of the deck, Nine of Pentacles, like again what I was saying about this lady, like and these people, like when you're in this energy, when you're in the Ace of Wands energy, like you don't need to worry about anybody else. Like the Nine of Pentacles, she's alone and she's built her stuff up and now that's like it's like she has this wall, right? That's built up. She's done her work, she's created her life, and now she's good. Now she can stand on her own in security and comfort. And have a place where like this can flourish. Have a place where these people aren't going to be able to get to her. Underneath it all, that security that comes from work. Gemini, I know we're not great with work, but like the thing is that we can be good at work when it's exciting and when it's our passions, right? Like that's not hard to do. So this feels good. So I feel like when we're looking at the new moon, we're looking from this one to the one in Sagittarius in December, and I feel like in that month, concrete steps are going to happen. Relationship commitments might happen. A major step towards a new goal might happen. Like, things are going to change. And it's from knowing ourselves, right? Like, we're so good with reflection and introspection and perspective. And because we know ourselves and what we want, like, now is the time. So that by the spring, I think, like, we're talking the winter, and like, we're gonna be in this dark period where we get to hibernate kind of and work and like focus on what we want, so that when the spring comes and we're ready to go outside again and we're ready to like live our lives in like this fuller way, we'll have all like the resources. Like, by springtime, I think things are gonna look very different. I think your career is going to look very different. I think your love life is going to look very different, but it's based on what happens now. Hey, so as one of the outcome cards here, we have the Prince of Wands. Beautiful. Like, taking that Ace of Wands energy and like putting it to work. Like, talk about, we have two princes here. Like, talk about the self worth. Talk about like, remember what I said about arrogance a little bit? Like, sure, yeah, but like they're young and on the rise. That's why they're arrogant. They have all this power behind them. It's only arrogant if you're like whack, right? Like, if you're doing your thing, you can celebrate these energies that Gemini is having, right? Like, other people can celebrate this. These whack ass people like are haters. They're not going to celebrate this. Why? Because this is powerful. Like, there's that lion, and now he's riding it. Like, that's powerful. Self assured, confident. And when you have that confidence, like, it's so much easier to do like awesome things because you're just like so in yourself and making yourself happy and like feeling good that like making great things happen for yourself kind of comes a little naturally. Holy shit, Gemini, like, 10 of Pentacles. What was I saying about manifesting? About things happening. About concrete steps forward in security. Like, that nine of Pentacles was building that wall, and now look what we have. A happy home, a secure financial, material life. Like, this is where this love can be safe and protected and flourish in this 10 of Pentacles. Like, amazing. Like, what a good sign. Big steps forward, Gemini. You're gonna feel it, right? And what I love about this, again, like I've been saying, like, not only are you gonna feel it, you're gonna be able to see it in front of your face. Steps forward, like real big steps forward. And then we have the Three of Swords. Heartbreak, struggle, discontent, right? Very not happy to see this after this like really invigorating reading. But again, I might pull a little bit of that Five of Wands trickery that I did before, because like I said, I don't read reverse, so it's all about the context. In this beautiful spread of like creating and like security and financial like material comforts like we get here, I don't know about that. So here's what I'm gonna say. One, do be careful with your heart, right? Like in all this excitement, like don't get too carried away, right? Don't get so arrogant that you end up getting hurt, right? Don't just think that like everything is going so right that like you're infallible. Because we're sensitive and we can be hurt. And this can also be a disconnect between the heart and the mind, right? Here are the swords like piercing the heart. The swords are the air, the intellect. So again, like, be prepared. There could be some sadness. There could be some loss. As much as there's this emotional, like, happiness, like, I feel a loss. I would hope it's not something like a death or like a lost job, you know? But also in the context of all of this, guys, like, I'm gonna say, like, to be careful, to protect yourself, to protect this, right? But what this also can mean, like in the context of the rest of the cards here, is like maybe I'm moving on from this, right? Like everything here, we have material security and confidence and like love and manifesting and strength and like getting in touch with our passions, right? Like you might break someone else's heart, you might sever a connection that isn't working for you anymore. But also, like, again, look at this reverse. Like, if this was reversed, this is like coming out of this shit. This is like healing, healing a broken heart. That connection that I was saying before between your passions, your heart, and your mind, right? Healing. But again, like, I'm not going to be all fluffy about it. I want to pull out a clarifier for that. I don't feel like this is connected. Honestly, I don't. I don't think that this heartbreak is surrounding like maybe a breakup or like this happiness being lost. I don't get that impression. I like I said, I hope it wouldn't be something like a death or something. So we get the Nine of Pentacles again, right? Clarifying the Three of Swords. So two things I'm going to say here. One, be prepared for maybe a little loneliness, right? Like as you're working, as you're doing this stuff, like there might be a little solitude. There might be a need to retreat. There might be a need to like, I don't want to say sever friendships or relationships, but like take significant steps back from them, right? Because this is all about creating, right? This is all about letting go, right? The Nine of Pentacles, like letting go of this shit, this baggage. You see why I can't really see this like fully negative? Because look at what clarified it, the Nine of Pentacles. Happiness in like you're standing on your own 2 feet. These two together make me feel like moving on from heartbreak. You could see yourself moving on from heartbreak, Gemini. Moving into this place of security. Like not just a material, but like emotional security. You know what I'm saying? Some shit's gonna be let go of. Some hurt is gonna be let go of. There's just like too much good waiting. Too much of it. But I feel like, again, it's important to focus on the work. To focus on what's going to make you stronger, what's going to make you more secure, what's going to make you happier, what's going to make you just feel better. So with this whole reading, I still like keep an eye open for things that could hurt you, but also again, like I still want to re-emphasize, like I do feel like more so now this is like a moving on. But be okay with being a little lonely, right? Like this might come, but it might come slowly. And if you feel yourself all caught up in feels and like wondering what this other person is doing or if they like you or not, like don't get lost in like whatever this was from your past that caused this. Like don't get lost in it. Get back in touch with that like passion and refocus yourself. This is a time for us. This is a time for us, Gemini, to act, to get in touch with the deepest parts of ourselves. Like the Nine of Pentacles, yeah, it's about solitude, but it's like about being on your own 2 feet. It's about being focused on you. And then we get the Scorpion, caution. Very interesting for the sign of Scorpio. After I've been talking about like how we're sidestepping all this crazy Scorpio energy, but this is what I'm saying, right? Like be careful still, right? We're feeling ourselves, feeling in our element, but like physically, like be careful. Watch your back, right? Because this might not just be like innocent hate or gossip. This might be somebody like trying to hurt you in some way. Maybe physically, but maybe I feel that's possible, but also like, you know, someone who's coming for like your job. Someone who's trying to throw you under the bus or like undermine your success. Like, that's what I'm feeling here. Watch your back, Gemini. Watch it. You're going to shine. And that attracts all kinds of things, good and bad. Be a little bit like on guard and not really trusting of everybody. You know, like even if this relationship and this person feels good, like still like just go slow. Be careful with your feelings, be careful with your heart. Like when I said loss and I said could be a job, could be a relationship, like just be aware. And then we have the Raven, magic, like manifesting, guys, like manifesting on manifesting. I think it's important for Gemini maybe to just like set some like very clear intentions, right? Like for this next moon phase, like write it down, speak it, whatever you have to do, but put it out into the world in a real way, right? Define what it is that you want, and then you have that Scorpio energy to manifest. I think it's important, Gemini, to be very clear when we do this deep dive and we get in touch with what we want, like put it into words. I don't know why that feels very strong to me. Put it into words. Like You can vision board and put into visuals or whatever you want to do, like if that's your thing, but like express in words what you want. And then beautiful at the end of the day, right? So despite all this like craziness, like this is what we have at the end of the day. We have victory. There's success, right? Like when you are putting your intentions out there, they become real. They become real. But you have to know what those are, right? You have to know what the energy is that you want, what the passion is, right? So let's go ahead and take a look at the cards real quick. So let's see what we're working with here, right? That passion, that energy I was talking about, the Prince of Cups. Like, just look at this. You see why I couldn't, like, look at this totally negatively? Strength, the Magician, Two of Cups, like, this very strong sense of power and accomplishment and moving forward and rising above conflict, right? Like, looking at this now, it's like rising above it. And then we have the Ace of Wands and the Queen of Swords. Like, Queen of Swords, not bad energy, but just, it's about being in the heart, right? Like, this is a disconnect between the heart and the mind. Like, don't get so stuck in this. Don't get too stuck in the head, right? Remember that what this is about is passion, energy, and directing your will, making things happen, moving forward confidently. Like, look at this 10 of Pentacles energy here. The 9 of Pentacles. Even though it's clarifying the 3 of Swords, like, look at the power that's there. But again, like, just watch your back. I wouldn't be surprised if you find out somebody's gossiping about you at work, or someone's trying to sabotage a relationship. Well, if that happens, come back here, guys. The 9 of Pentacles. Get in touch with what you want, speak it, make it clear, and come back here. Come back to the work, to the material realm, right? Come back to like this love that's going to just make you feel so full that no matter what these idiots are doing or saying, like, it's not like you can't get hurt, but like you're going to move forward no matter what. That's what I see here. Forward motion, forward movement. All that energy of the passion of the Prince of Cups manifesting. All right, Gemini, so look, still a little heavy, right? We're still in the Scorpio-ness. Very positive, but still intense. Right? So the reason I keep emphasizing the new moon in Sagittarius is because I really feel like that energy is going to just bring a little lightness, a little joy, a little like freshness after all this like really deep, heavy Scorpio energy. So buckle down. Be alone for a little while if you have to. Like, embrace the solitude now, because we're also getting a full moon in Gemini next month. When the sun is in Sagittarius, like, there's fun on the horizon, guys. But don't do that crazy Gemini thing and like get lost in La La Land and don't take like certain things seriously, you know? Like, take things serious. Like, right now, if you can, for at least 2 weeks, Gemini, like, take things very seriously. Uncharacteristically seriously. Scorpio level serious. There's going to be time for fun and games in Sagittarius. I promise. Promise. That's what Sagittarius is. Fun and games, right? We vibe with that. Hunker down. Be alone. Build yourself up for that love. You know, express it. Express your passion, express your feelings. Make it real. All right, guys. This was good. I I was a little nervous that it got like a little dark and heavy, but like ultimately I feel positive. Like, even though I said we sidestepped that Scorpio energy, like it's still affecting us. It's still hitting us. We're just good at handling it, right? That's why we had strength. That's why we had the magician because we're taking it in stride. It's not gonna not hurt, but we're gonna handle it, right? Because we bosses. Gemini, my favorite. I love you. Have a great new moon in Scorpio, and I will see you in 2 weeks. Bye.